When you hear the word conference, what pops into your head? Maybe some stuffy, formal, intimidating room? Well, let's change that picture. We're about to break down what a conference really is, turning it from this vague idea into a clear game plan you can use to actually make an impact. Let's get right into it.
All right, so here's our roadmap for today. First up, we're going to define what a conference actually is. Then, we'll meet the key people who make it all happen. After that, we'll walk through the whole event from start to finish. And finally, we'll give you a guide to make sure you succeed. 4 simple parts to get you totally prepped.
So, what is a conference? Seriously, forget that old formal image for a second. I want you to think of it more like a music festival, but for ideas, right? It's a place where people with a shared passion all get together to learn, to share, and to connect. But let's look at the official breakdown. Okay, so at its core, yes, it's a formal meeting. But the real magic isn't in the formality. It's in the purpose. It's all about swapping ideas, showing off brand new research, and building some really powerful connections. You can think of it as an engine for progress in pretty much any field, whether it's a single, super-packed day or a whole week-long event.
First up, you've got your academic conferences. This is where the world's top minds, we're talking researchers and scholars, gather to present their latest findings, what they call papers, and really hash out new theories that could literally change our future.
Then you have something totally different, a trade show or business expo. This is basically the marketplace of innovation. Picture huge brands setting up these incredible booths to show off their latest and greatest products. It's all about business and seeing cutting-edge stuff you can actually touch and experience. And then there are medical conferences, which are, absolutely crucial. This is where doctors and scientists share life-saving breakthroughs. We're talking new treatments, new surgical methods, the latest medical tech. The knowledge that's shared here has a direct impact on all of our health. And finally, let's talk about professional seminars. Think smaller, much more hands-on. Instead of these giant expo halls, you're in a more focused training session. The goal here is to build specific skills that you can turn around and use at your job the very next day. It's all about practical, immediate value. So we know what a conference is, but who actually makes one happen? In this next part, we're going to meet the key players. Think of it as the cast of characters who bring these massive events to life. Every conference has this core cast. You've got the organizer, who is basically the director of the whole show. The keynote speaker, that's your headliner, the one who sets the tone with a big, inspiring speech. The exhibitors are the innovators, showing off their cool projects in the booths. And of course, the most important part, the attendees. That's you. You're the reason everyone is there in the first place. This really says it all, doesn't it? That smooth, seamless experience you have when you show up, well, that is a result of months, sometimes even years, of incredibly detailed planning. So what exactly goes on behind the scenes? Here's just a tiny peek at what they have to do. They've got to lock down the perfect venue. They have to arrange all the food and drinks because, let's be real, nobody can focus when they're hungry. They design all the marketing to get people excited. And so importantly, they manage all the tech, making sure the Wi-Fi, the mics, everything just works. Okay, so the players are in position and all the prep work is done. Now let's actually walk through the event itself. This is your play-by-play for what a typical day at a conference really looks and feels like. So, your day usually kicks off at registration, where you get that all-important badge. Then the opening ceremony gets everything started. The real heart of the conference, though, is the breakout sessions. This is where you dive deep into the topics you really care about. Then comes the networking lunch or coffee break, a super important informal time to make connections. And finally, it all wraps up with closing remarks, which kind of summarizes the big takeaways from the day. All right, so we get the what, the who, and the how. For this last section, let's get really practical. This is your guide to not just go to a conference, but to absolutely crush it, whether you're the one running the show or you're there to learn. Success looks a little different depending on who you are. If you're the host, your job is to plan for anything that could go wrong, keep the audience engaged with things like Q&As, and make sure you follow up afterwards. Now, if you're an attendee, success is all about prep. You got to go in with a clear goal, have a killer 30-second intro ready to go, and focus on taking notes that you can actually do something with later. And really, that's what this all comes down to. A conference isn't just a bunch of talks. It's a hub of pure opportunity. It's a place where one simple conversation over coffee could spark your next huge idea or solve a problem you've been stuck on for months. The opportunity is there. The only real question is, Are you ready to go find it?